Welcome to Comm Naija.
You are welcome to this edition of Tutorial Lecture Series on Comm Naija. My name is Anasiola Adebayo. On today's edition, which I'll be taking a look at the decline of public interest in government television stations in Nigeria as one of the issues in broadcasting. Talking about television stations in Nigeria, the TV station broadcasting has undergone significant transformation since its inception in 1959, and that was when we had WNTV, Western Nigerian Television, established by Chief Obafemi Awolowo, and the television station started broadcasting on October 31st, 1959. After that, we had in March 1962, Radio Kaduna Television, RKTV, that one based in the north, that is the northern region. Also in 1962, in April 1962, we had NBC, Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation, established by the federal government. That one was based in Lagos. And after that, we had another one, Mid TV, in the Midwestern region in 1972. So later we had Benue Plateau television stations and was established in 1974, which later became the first television to broadcast in a color screen. So after the Benue Plateau television, which was a color television then, in 1977, NTA was established in 1977, and that was when the military regime took over the administration of Nigeria, and all the regional TV stations that we've mentioned so far were merged together to become the NTA, with that of federal government based in Lagos. That was NBC, Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation, which was established in 1962. Government-owned television stations, once primary source of news, education, entertainment, has experienced a decline in public interest with the proliferation of other TV stations which are privately owned. And talking about private-owned television stations in Nigeria, we have the first private-owned television, which was a Galaxy TV. That one was established in 1994. Before, we now have many other private television stations, and since then we've been having an issue whereby there's decline in public interest about the government TV stations, and we have different factors that have contributed to this decline in interest of the public about viewing government-owned television stations in Nigeria. So we'll be taking the factors one after the other, and the first one we will be talking about is lack of independence. So talking about lack of independence, government-owned TV stations are perceived as being biased or lacking editorial independence, leading to doubt about their content among viewers who would always want a TV station that is not depending on any entity or any organ of government or any organization, because once we have a dependency of one station on a particular entity, there will be no objectivity, there will be no balancing in story that is being broadcast to the people, because the paymaster will always want that station to depend on them for broadcasting. For example, the opposition party in the 2019 general election accused the NTA of giving a preferential treatment to the ruling party, which was All Progressive Congress, APC, and that the APC was given enough time to broadcast their activities. Meanwhile, the opposition parties said they were not given such opportunity, and this shows that the NTA was depending on the ruling party that time, which made the opposition parties to accuse the television station. So another factor is lack of innovation and technological advancement. Failure to innovate and to adapt to changing audience preferences and technological advancement also contributed to the decline of public interest in government own television stations in Nigeria, stations that do not invest in production techniques, in modern production techniques, audience engagement. Definitely we struggle to retain audience. And in this regard, the case of NTA and other state television stations exemplify the situation whereby there's decline in public interest, because there are some program that will be aired, that will be broadcast, but you will see that the quality, the image quality, they are nothing to write home about. And this is as a result of the fact that government are not spending enough on technological advancement of the stations. Another factor we have is poor content quality. Now, talking about content quality, government-owned TV stations often suffer from a lower quality programming compared to that of private or international competitors. Issues such as outdated content, lack of innovation, as said earlier on, and some other factors like that also contributed to the decline of public interest in the government-owned television stations. There are some programs that have been on the television. The way they've been doing it, that's also the way they are still doing it, and this also will not be able to attract the audience. In that regard, definitely the audience will have to select, to choose which TV station will satisfy their need as regard a good content, a quality content that will show them what they really need and will move in tandem with the present technology. Government television stations are lacking in providing informative content for their viewers, and this also will lead to decline in the usage of such by the audience. Another factor is competition from private media. With the proliferation, with the establishment of many television stations in Nigeria, there are diverse online streaming platforms and other television stations, private television stations in Nigeria. Like we have Channels Television, TVC, Arise TV, and many more. So these private TV stations are coming with engaging programming, and we check very well on Channels Television. We have programs like Politics Today, Tech Trend, and some other programs like that that definitely attract the audience, and these are done in order to compete with government-owned television stations. Even on TVC, we have series of programs that if placed side by side without a government-owned television stations, discover that you will rather go for that of private TV stations than trying to go for the government-owned television stations. So by offering dynamic programming tailored towards audience engagement, localized the content, private broadcasters like Channels Television, as said earlier, they attract the audience away from government-controlled stations, and this hereby poses challenge on the relevance of government-owned televisions in Nigeria. Also, in the list of factors that contribute to the decline of public interest in government-owned TV stations in Nigeria, we have a political influence and censorship. Government-owned TV stations are frequently perceived as tools for government propaganda, meaning that the government of the day are perceived to use the government TV stations for disseminating information that will promote their activities, that will show people what they've been doing, and to relate to people, and to try to make use of those broadcast stations, TV stations, to build their image the more. So in this regard, using the television for propaganda will make those TV stations lose their credibility, and this will lead to a lack of trust among viewers. For example, talking about NTA now. So you discover that, as we said it earlier, that in 2019 general election, opposition parties accused NTA for giving APC preferential treatment by giving them more airtime than other political parties in Nigeria. You can see that in this aspect, the APC we want to use that particular television station for propaganda to let people know what they are doing, and they will always try their possible best to make sure that all what will be going out will be in support of the government. If there's anything that people are complaining about, the government television stations will always come out to defend the government, and the political influence will always supersede the ethical standard of journalism or ethical standard of broadcasting when it comes to giving a balanced information. Always, the TV station will always want to work in favor of the government of the day. Also, bureaucracy. Bureaucracy in government-owned television stations in Nigeria leads to inefficiencies, slow decision-making, resistance to innovation, and delayed funding for modernization. These factors collectively contribute to the decline of public interest in government-owned television stations in Nigeria, because the audience will always turn to private television stations that are more responsive, objective, innovative, and agreed to their needs. Another factor is changing demographics. Younger generations, in particular, may be inclined to watch government television stations due to differences in their consumption, yes, and preferences, what they need. Because nowadays, some youth, even we can say many youth or almost all the youth, will prefer going online to satisfy their media need. And even for them to watch government television, even for them to watch a private television is becoming difficult, not to talk of government owned television where we don't have some content that can appeal to their ear, to their listening, to their way of life. So in this aspect, we can see that as the demographic is changing, also the government television stations should change, but there's nothing like that in the issue of government-owned television stations in Nigeria, and this is really affecting the television stations. So, and it's one of the factors that contribute to the decline of public interest in government-owned television stations in the country. So, those are the factors that have contributed so far to the decline of public interest in government-owned television stations in Nigeria. Now, let us discuss the consequences, the implications of the decline of public interest in the government-owned television stations in Nigeria. First, erosion of public trust. The decline in viewership reflects a broader erosion of trust in government-owned television stations, and as public interest wanes, these stations lose their influence as tools for public enlightenment, education, and public communication. So when the remaining set of people that are even viewing government-owned television stations discover that other people are not viewing it again, they will lack trust in that TV station. Imagine being among the friends that are talking about maybe issues that have been discussed on maybe Channels Television, TVC, Arise, or other private TV stations, and all what you are familiar with is a particular program that is being broadcast by NTA. So in that environment, you yourself will not even be able to talk, because you discover that those people who are talking, they are talking along the same line and they are familiar with the same content on a particular TV station which is private, and you are coming with your own idea from a government station. Or what they will tell you is, okay, you will just have to forget about that, and let's talk about TV stations that are objective, that are responsive, that are even innovative in giving out the content and giving out information to the audience. Another consequence or end result of the decline of public interest in government-owned television stations in Nigeria is a loss of cultural and educational value. So if the government TV stations are unable to grab the attention of the audience, they are unable to retain the audience. Definitely what they are trying to pass out, maybe they have a cultural program, educational program, the people that they are targeting will not even be enjoying, will not be benefiting from such program because they are not doing it. So definitely all what they have been doing will be a waste of effort in trying to promote cultural or educational value. Also, economic impact. Our government TV stations that are not able to retain audience attention and will not be able to generate more revenue. In what aspect? For example, an advertiser, maybe advertiser of a particular toothpaste, wants to make use of government television stations, and before any advertiser will advertise the product, they will definitely survey, they will make an inquiry on which TV station or which media are being used by the audience or by the target audience, those who will be their consumer, the final consumer of the product. And when they discover that government television stations are unable to gain the attention of their targeted audience, definitely they will not make use of government own TV station. They will now prefer to go and patronize private owned television station that they know that they have this heavy traffic of viewership. So, and this will definitely create a negative impact on the ecosystem of that particular media station. Another implication is that the decline of public interest in government-owned television station will bring about low democratic engagement, because a well-informed citizenry is very crucial for a functioning democracy. So the decline in government-owned television station may limit the access to viewpoint and important information about government among the people. That's if the private channels are not giving those informations. And mind you, we cannot say that all what is happening in government will be broadcast by private channels, private television stations in Nigeria, because they will also try to commercialize their time, their year time. So thereby, not everything will be covered in the process of disseminating information. But government own TV stations, you definitely will know that is not established to make money, though they make money as a public corporation, but still they have more of pro bono content, and those contents are tailored towards building the image of government, and all what they'll be doing there will be government activities. And through these activities, if these activities are being viewed by the people, it promotes democracy among the people and democratic engagement. But since no one is ready to view government-owned television stations because of the factors we have discussed so far, maybe lack of innovation, lack of technological advancement, and political influence and censorship, and a host of others, definitely they will not, and it in turn affect democratic engagement of the citizens. So, talking about future prospects, firstly, digital transformation. Embracing digital technology and transitioning to online platform can help government-owned television stations reach a wider and more diverse audience. Also, government-owned TV stations should be able to revitalize their content to make sure that their content is being updated, ensuring that the content of their programs reflect the interest and needs of their audience, and to make sure that the content that they will be giving out will be the one that will appeal to the need of their audience, updating the content and making sure that the content that are being aired are those ones that resonate with the needs, the interest of their viewers. Another strategy that can be adopted by government-owned television station is ensuring independence and credibility. So enhancing editorial independence and reducing political influence can help bring about or rebuild the trust the people we have in them. Also, very very important is funding and investment. Government should be able to invest more in technological advancement, in innovation, releasing fund in order to rebuild government owned stations in Nigeria, because the inability of government to finance, to fund government owned TV stations in Nigeria has led to the perception that is government not having money to spend on this TV station? Why do we always have government establishment looking like it's being controlled by one poor man? So, with the point discussed so far, it shows that government-owned television stations in Nigeria have faced numerous challenges, and it has affected the operation of the stations. And also, we discovered that there are opportunities, yes, for revitalization, and this can be done through transformation, through content improvement, and enhanced independence, credibility, and integrity of the station by following ethical standard of journalism or of broadcasting operations in Nigeria. So far, we have talked about the factors that have contributed to the decline of public interest in government-owned television stations in Nigeria, and we made mention of lack of independence, lack of innovation, and technological advancement. We also talk about poor content quality. We talk about competition from private media. We also talked about political influence and censorship. We also discuss changing demographics, and also we talk about bureaucracy. So under the implications, we talk about erosion of public trust, loss of cultural and educational value. We also made mention of economic impact, and also we discussed about the fact that the decline will have or has affected democratic engagement of the citizens. And on the future prospect, we talked about the fact that government owned television stations in Nigeria can regain their glory if they can adopt digital transformation, content revitalization, independence and credibility, and also funding and investment. And that is all we have for you in this edition. Stay tuned to Mascom Naija for another interesting edition. Any question, please subscribe and drop it at the comment section. Goodbye.